In this video, I'm going to answer a hot issue questions that students always raised. Is IGCSE Accounting easy or hard? To begin with, I would like to tell you that I got an A asterisk, and I also got a medal. That means I guess I am the top in the region. So the CIE board gave me a medal. To be frankly, honestly, I would say IGCSE Accounting is very easy for you to get a pass or C grade, but it is quite difficult for you to get an A grade or even an A asterisk. Okay, even though I was the top, okay, in my region in the exam series. First of all, I would like to talk about, okay, why is it easy? Okay, why is it easy to get a pass? Indeed, it's about how they award the marks for students. Unlike mathematics, okay, for mathematics, okay, you need to compare the figures in order to get marks for the correct answer or correct method. But for accounting, okay, simply candidates just need to copy the figures from the question paper to the answer book. Then they can grab marks. Also, okay, if the candidates can work out some simple calculation, like they add up the figures they put down, then they will grab other marks. So you can see that in this sense, it's quite easy for students to get a C grade or a pass. Okay, so they just need to try their best. Okay, to input the figures and copy the figures and do some simple calculation. But on the other hand, I would say it's quite difficult to get a good grade, a high grade in IGCSE Accounting. Okay, there are 4 reasons to say so. The first reason is that there are a lot of formats of these accounting presentation. Let's say, for example, there are different statements like income statements, statements of financial positions. And also there are different types of business, like sole proprietorship, that means you do your business on your own, partnership, or even limited companies. The accounting formats for these different types of business ownership are different. Okay, they are not the same. So candidates must memorize all the different formats, okay, in order to secure a full mark. Let me put it this way. Okay, if a student did a job in the wrong accounting format, I would say a bunch of marks will be deducted. So I would say it's quite difficult because there are more than 10 formats you need to master, okay, before you go to the IGCSE Accounting. The second reason I would say it's difficult to get a high grade because the consequence of getting a wrong answer is far more serious beyond your imagination. Now for mathematics, okay, if you do wrong in one question, okay, that's about that question, that particular question. Okay, you can still try to get marks from other questions. But for accounting, no. Okay, I would say the answers, they are correlated. Let me give you one simple example. That is, okay, for part A, you need to compare the revenue of the company. For part B, you have to find out the profit of the company. So yes, I think you can see that, right? Okay, if one get the revenue wrong in part A, then the answer in part B for the profit determination, it must be wrong too. Okay, so so you can see that the answers, they're correlated, and yeah, for students or candidates, they often make careless mistake. Okay, so this subject, okay, I don't think it's suitable for them to aim for high marks or high grade. The third reason would be accounting is not equivalent to calculation. Yeah, that's I would say a misconception of a lot of candidates. Okay, but you may go through the exam papers in different exam boards like CIE or Pearson Excel. You can see that apart from calculation, there are a lot of questions asking for verbal elaboration. For example, okay, so what are the accounting concepts or rationale behind, okay, for you to do so, okay, for you to to take to do such calculation. So what are the rationale behind, blah blah blah, or you need to base on the calculation you made to make some decisions like, okay, should the firm expand, or whether should the company launch a new product. Again, if one made mistake in this previous part, okay, like they compared the expected profit of a new product, okay, wrong, then of course they will make a wrong decision in the subsequent parts. Okay, so you can see, right, it's quite difficult. Last but not the least, so why I think it's very difficult to get a high grade, because the cutoff margin for A asterisk is nearly 90. Okay, although I score 95, but still I think it's quite difficult for students to get 90, around 90, especially so like if the student again may not memorize all the formats, or they made a mistake in part A, then wow, a lot of marks will be deducted. Okay, so wow, so we say it's quite difficult for students to get such, nearly all answers correct. Okay, so it's just like me. Okay, I got 95, but I'm the the top in my region. Okay, so so to conclude, IGCSE Accounting is very easy to get a pass or C grade, but it's really difficult to master well. So there are some tips, okay, for candidates, okay, who are going to take the IGCSE Accounting seriously. The first tip, okay, is that you need to memorize all the formats, okay, like the income statement, the statement of financial position, and also the accounting format for different types of business ownership, sole proprietorship, partnership, limited companies, blah blah blah. Okay, so you need to go for more practice. Okay, number two, take your time and proceed the question paper slowly. So when I set for my exam, I'm the earliest one to leave the exam hall, but it's for me. But for the others, I would say, hey, come on, you need to be careful. Okay, do not make a mistake in part A. Otherwise, the subsequent part, okay, might be affected, and you might lose a bunch of marks. Okay, in that question. So okay, be careful. Okay, check twice, okay, before you proceed to the next stage or next part of the question. Number three, so you need to go through the textbook. Okay, a lot of candidates would study accounting by doing a lot of questions related to calculation, but no, it's wrong. You need to go back to the exam format. You just take the multiple choice question as example. Okay, you can see that for multiple choice questions, okay, there are a lot of questions. They're not related to calculation. Also, for the structural question, okay, there are still a lot of questions that need your verbal elaboration. Okay, so make sure you understand all the accounting concepts, the rationale behind, okay, of okay, why we need to do so, okay, why we need to do that calculation, okay, blah blah blah. Last but not the least, okay, I would say, hey, you need to go through a lot of past paper questions. As I mentioned, there are a lot of formats. I would say there are more than 10 formats, okay, in accounting. Okay, so make sure you go through, I would say not only 1 year. Okay, you need to go through several years accounting past paper, so that you make yourself familiarized with all the formats and all the requirements. And yep, and that's all. Okay, that's all for my sharing. Feel free to leave a comment.